Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So it is time to do my monthly decoration. So I'm just going to jump straight in. Feels like it's only been a couple of minutes since I've done the last one, but that's because we did April halfway through April because I'd kind of missed it. So there is a reason to my madness. I just feel a little like I've just done this. Why does that keep falling out? I'm just going to put that off to the side for a second. So we've got May here ready to go. I really want to use some bits out of the new inspiration collection, which I shared with you a couple of weeks ago. I'll link the video down below so you can go and check it out. But what I want to sort of be the key feature here, I absolutely adore the photography part of this side. Of this collection. I really didn't think I would, but I've really fallen in love with it. And so what I want to do is make one of the photographs be the sort of central thing that I'm running with. And because May happens to be one of those months that I have this whole big section that's really irrelevant, what I've done is I've photocopied that sheet, kind of cut it down to the size I need it to be, and this is actually going to stick in here, just to sort of bring, you can't use that piece of paper obviously, so all I did was pulled it out of the Paper Lovers book, scanned it, shrunk it down to what I needed it to be, and then sort of cropped it. This was obviously going to be way too big to use, so this is sort of my way of getting around it. So I'm just grabbing my paper trimmer. Before that I'm grabbing my ruler. Usually and if you watch me often enough you know I don't tend to use my ruler very much, but for this one, because I've actually measured this out to be just about perfect, I need it to be right where I need it to be. So I'm just trying to line that up. There we go. So when I put my paper trimmer on it, the line's right. So I'm just sort of got to give a little. It doesn't matter if you've got 2 or 3 lines there, as long as you get it eventually. So then just putting it in the paper trimmer, lining it up. Fingers crossed. Might need just a little bit more of a trim on the bottom, but 90% of the way. There we go. So I'm just going to put this back in. This is going to be a very thin cut. Yes, it worked. Sometimes when you do those really thin ones, it almost makes the paper fray a little bit at the edges. That one didn't, thank goodness for that. And then just using the actual picture itself to kind of guide this cut. There we go. So hopefully, if I've done everything right, that should fit. Okay, well it's a little bit small, but that's probably my measuring. So that's still the point of what I wanted, so that's not it. Oh, I'm going to put it on the wrong piece of paper. But that's the sort of gist of that bit. So what I'm going to do now is grab out of the Paper Lovers book, I'm grabbing this piece of paper. Where'd it go? I found it before. No. Kind of coming out of my comfort zone a little bit and using colours I don't use a lot, and orange is definitely one of those. So I'm just grabbing this beautiful bit of orange and I'm going to run it down the side. So I'm just putting that into my paper trimmer, which is too small, so I've got to get the other one. Hold on. Okay, so I've just rescued that from my drawers. My office is just, well, I know I've just moved in and everything, but it's just about ready to be redone, which hopefully will make this a little bit more useful in here. So I will share that with you once I've done it, because I just haven't quite done it. It's all planned. I'm going to IKEA on the weekend, just not quite done yet. So I just want to make this, I'm just going to measure how wide that is. I'm just going to cut these into 2 centimeter strips. 2 centimeters is actually more than I need, but it's a little bit of overhang there which will actually help. And then I can obviously trim it up afterwards. So just lining that up. I really hate using my ruler. I think I do worse. I don't get such straight lines when I do it this way, when I do it with a ruler. I don't know why. It just never looks as good when I use a ruler. I trust my paper trimmers. It's alright, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these down the sides and punch the holes in, and I'll be back in just a sec. There's just some little dots on here which is kind of making me mad. So then I'm going to put this in so I can kind of continue working around it. So I'm just going to stick that there just with some glue tape again. I can get it off there. I'm just using a piece of scrap paper to protect my desk a little bit. I am keeping my desk with my whole office change. It'll just be used in a different way. You'll see what I mean when I show you around. I'm just going to stick that right there. I actually kind of like the fact that it's a little smaller. Kind of gives it a border, which is nice. Right, so we've got that, we've got that. So we've got the orange, we've got the pink. We need to tie in some of the greens, I think, with this collection. So I'm just grabbing the note paper. Oh God, I love that blue. I love that blue. So I'm going to grab this piece. What I want to do is run, this is going to be a very geometric week. First off, I'm going to just rescue the bit at the bottom because I don't want to hurt that, because I might still use that. I don't know if that's going to go overboard with the quotes, but we might still use them there. So I'm just going to do another 2 centimeter strip to the top here. So I'm just going to measure that out again. As you might have been able to tell, I much prefer my small paper trimmer than my big one. I don't know why, it's so much easier to use and I just like it more. I'm going to go right over the top of that 2017. So I'm just going to basically stick that exactly where it is because it fits really nicely there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and I'll be back in just a sec. So I don't quite know how I did that, but that's actually managed to fall exactly where I wanted it to be. Yeah, no idea how I did that. I think I'm sort of debating doing the same thing on the other side, and I think I'm going to. Might just cut it out and lay it on there and have a look and see what it looks like. Obviously that's not quite in the right place. Yes, I like that. Righto, so I'm going to do that on the other side as well. So I'm just going to stick that down and I'll be back in a sec. So that's kind of given it a bit of a more muted feeling. Do I want to put that there, or is that too many quotes? Kind of a really fine line with quotes. You don't want to go overboard. I need to bring in some bolder colour. It's just too muted at the moment. I'm just sort of flicking through here trying to find something. Because the blue's screaming at me, but I can't use the blue. I'm definitely not going to run with this. Righto. I'm trying to avoid the gold. Just said I couldn't use quotes, and then the first thing that jumps out at me is this that says fall in love every day, which I think would be perfect on the bottom there. But same problem, I feel like there's too many quotes. What have we got in here? I was kind of trying to avoid the gold. I didn't want to bring gold into it this month. But I think I'm going to grab this little cardboard flag thing. And I'm actually going to do something a little different. So rather than having my month at the top, I want to put my month at the bottom. It's just sort of come to me as I was doing that. So I just want to trim this up first. So this is just for something different. One of the people who messaged me a lot on Facebook, Amanda, showed me her monthly decoration. I think it was might have been for April or May, I can't quite remember. And what she did was she actually put April down the side here because she doesn't use this note section, and I never do either. But it sort of inspired me to keep thinking of different places to put my months. Like, don't always put them at the top, put them somewhere else. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put May on here because May is a reasonably short month anyway. It's going to fit really nicely on this. So I'm going to grab just the stickers out of this Paper Lovers book because that'll bring in that pop of colour I really am desperately needing this month. So I'm just grabbing, and the only problem with these is they are a little bit touchy. So I'm just grabbing just a bit of paper, just because the stickers are obviously going to be bigger than the little flag here. So I'm just going to line them up just on the bottom so that they look like they're sort of sitting on that line. And I've just used my ruler to stop losing the page so often. And then we'll get the line. I do tend to forget to use these as well, the letters, so any excuse will do. So I'm just grabbing my craft knife just to pop out the middle of the A. Probably shouldn't do this on the back of your finger, but if you're careful, it's okay. But just make sure you put the lid back on when you're finished. Safety first. As long as you don't push too hard, these are generally repositionable for a time. Not excessively so, but enough that you've got some time. So then I'm just thinking, do I want to cover up those two letters? No, I don't. I don't want to. I think it'll look fine the way it is. So just grabbing some glue tape and just sticking these down. Doesn't matter if you don't get those little bits at the top. And I'm deliberately putting them so that they sit just above the line. I just think that looks cool. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and write in all the little dates that I need to. Put in any little stickers that I need to use as well. Okay, so all of my birthdays are now in. The next thing I want to do is just put something in because my mum's coming to visit. So these are just the Kaisercraft sticker books. I sort of know what I'm looking for, kind of. I'm just trying to find the right thing. No, wrong colours. Might be this one. So again, trying to bring in some more of the colours. So if I use this green, it's matching up really nicely with this green. So I'm just grabbing this one here that says catch up. And just putting it there. And then just grabbing a blue. Trying to make it as close as I can to that blue. Right, it needs something else. That hasn't worked out the way that I wanted it to, but I don't hate it. There's something not quite right with it, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. So I'm just having a quick look. Like I said, I'm avoiding the gold as much as I can. Nope. I don't want to use the hearts. Hearts are just an easy way out, I think. And because everything's like the month starts here, you kind of can't even decorate down the side here. I think maybe a quote card will help. Just trying to find the right one, basically. I don't want a big one. The only really one that sort of fits here is this one here that says celebrate every victory, but even then I don't think it's quite going to do what I want it to do. I think I'm going to grab this little cupcake topper that says dream. It's pink, which will bring in a little bit more. And then with the other bit I'm going to do, and this is going to bring in a bit more blue than I wanted, but it's okay. I'm going to cut, well not cut, I'm going to pull out one of these weekly goals. And I know that this is going in a monthly page, but I'm really bad with weekly goals anyway. I tend to sort of make them for the month. So I'll just make these monthly goals instead of weekly goals. So I'm just going to trim this up so it's a bit prettier. So I just grabbed out this cupcake topper, which is going to finish off this little thing. So I'm just trimming off the knobbly bits. I'm going to tape, not using that bit of paper. So just gluing all over the back of this one. And because we're going to cover that up with a sticker, you won't notice that fold mark quite so much. I'm just hoping this will tie this in a little bit as well. Just grabbing this sticker that says goals, and all I'm going to do is just trim off the edges a little bit so it's a bit more centered. And then just put that right there. You seriously don't notice that fold mark at all. And then I'm going to punch that so that it sits just there. Okay, so we're nearly done. Just gonna put this dream I was going to put it there, but now I'm sort of thinking I need to put it over the other side to sort of balance it. No, I'm going to stick with my first instinct. So because it's a little too big, I'm just going to put it where I want it and then just trim off the excess. Oops. My X's and O's are getting stuck. Go, and then the very last thing I'm going to do, because now we've used this blue over this side, I feel like I need to put something blue on the other. I wanted to use that tag, but it's too big. I'm going to grab this one. It's got the blue and the blue. And just going to stick that down the side. Alright, I think that's about where I'm going to leave it. It hasn't ended up the way that I wanted it to, I'm happy to admit that. It's not quite right in my head, and it certainly isn't the way that I planned it, but I might try and do something else later on with this sort of photo side of this, because I do think it could look really nice. It just might be that this month wasn't the best one to do, best to use it for, because I sort of want to do it as in like little pockets, like maybe do one in that square and one in that square, but leave it with me, I'll think about it. Let me know what you did think of this one. Do you like this whole photographic side? Would you like me to keep trying with it? Let me know. I do love that. I think that looks awesome, and it's good to move it. It's so always there. It's nice to put it somewhere else, and I think those colours actually really look pretty together. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did like it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. All my social media links are down below, so if you don't want to leave me a comment, which you're obviously more than welcome to do, but if you want to contact me directly, you can on any of those links. They're all down below. I hope you guys have an absolutely awesome day, and I will see you again really, really soon. Thanks a lot. Bye!